Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get the most out of your Nephele results. And I'm going to start with a little introduction and overview of Nephele 2.0, the new version of Nephele, which we released a few months ago. So as most of you probably already know, if you go to the Nephele site, it looks different than it used to. So we have a new site, and we worked a lot on the infrastructure underneath to make it faster and more easy for us to support different pipelines. We also added some new features to help our users. So one of them is that you can resubmit your job with just the job ID, and you don't need to re-upload your data. You can just put the job ID in, and if you want to change parameters or something, you can. And the other big front-end update that we did is you can now interactively edit your mapping file. We know lots of people had problems when the Nephele 1.0 getting the correct format for their mapping file. So we hope that this helps users. You can edit if there are problems in the website itself, and then submit it your job. And we also updated and added some additional pipelines. We're still actually continually adding pipelines as time goes on. So we added the 16S data 2 pipeline for paired end and single end data. And we added a brand new pre-processing QC pipeline. So I'll talk a little bit about these during this webinar. And then we also updated the version for Mother to version 1.40. So the new Data 2 pipeline that we have is running the original Data 2 authors R package. So for people who might not be familiar with this algorithm, instead of doing OTU clustering the way that the Chime 1 and Mother do, it instead does denoising and error correction of the read sequences. And this produces these error-corrected, and if you have paired end reads, merged sequences that are called sequence variants. That's what the Data 2 authors call these sequences. And then these sequence variants are assigned taxonomy using RDP, and we're using the Silva database for Data 2. So you can find more information on the Data 2 website, and there are also a couple papers that they wrote comparing. I think this paper in particular does a little bit of comparison between using sequence variants versus operational taxonomic units to see and why it might be better to do things this way instead.